other things. He was a senator for the state of Louisiana. He went to Yale at the age of 14, and by that time he could speak 5 languages fluently. And are you getting a picture of a very brilliant man? Absolutely. He's English by birth. I know you're Scottish. I'm not kidding. Actually, I was telling him I'm basically Scottish, but I have a smidge of English also. Anyway, Judah P. Benjamin is the gentleman I'm talking about. He would become a senator. He would do all kinds of things. He was an international lawyer. And he was married to a drop-dead, knockout gal. Her name was Natalie St. Martin. She was French, Creole, and Catholic. And she didn't have a very good reputation, okay? That's why she moved to Paris. She was tired of everybody talking about her. She merited that talk according to a book. The name of it is Beloved, written by Delmar, okay? D-E-L-M-A-R. Anyway, that's her story. She moved to Paris, France, and that's where she lived the rest of her life. Judah was back here, like I said, being a senator and expanding railroads. That's what he's very, very famous for. Because he saw, hey, we can take this product out of Texas and Florida. We can get these up to the state of Washington, you know, or wherever by rail. This man had a lot to do with the expansion of railroading on this continent, a lot. And he was everything we know good, but then the states seceded, and then you have Lee surrendering, and then you have the entire cabinet making a break for freedom. Only 2 made it. One was Judah P. Benjamin, and the other one was Breckinridge, who was Secretary of War. Judah made it all the way down here. He knew about the Gamble house. Gamble was gone by this time, but he knew the house was here. He hid here 14 days. And I'm telling you this because I want to brag about the students at the university that spent 4 years researching that, looking for the documentation they would need to make that a fact, not an alluded to bit of history. And after 4 years, they went to Washington, D.C. with all that paper. It was read by the department and stamped. Yes, Judah P. Benjamin spent 14 nights in this house. So we're proud of those kids. They're just wonderful. It's nice to be able to say that's a fact. So anyway, you're going to go in and meet Judah. And then you get to go home.
Would this have been for drapery of some sort?
Huh?
These hooks would have been for a drapery of some sort?
Sure. Oh, yeah. I want you to meet before I tell you about this wonderful Judah. That's him. That's Judah P. Benjamin. Okay, and then when he escaped to England, 800 miles from here to the ship that took him to England. And when he got to England, he resumed a legal career. He was an international lawyer. Remember, he was married to the French Creole Catholic girl, okay? Anyway, Judah here went to England. They welcomed home a native son. He resumed a legal career, and he became counsel to Queen Victoria, the only man who had, as judge, access to the Queen. Judah P. Benjamin. He did pretty good, don't you? Yeah. Well, I have a guy in church, and the first time I saw him, I thought I would faint. He was a spitting image of him. It took me 6 years to get Peter here to look at this. And when Peter looked at this, he said, "Oh my God, no wonder you keep looking at me." And so anyway, he's the spitting image, and he is the great-great-great-grandson of Judah P. Benjamin. So it was fun to find that all out. I bet. Okay, this bed, really interesting. The reason why it is so high is because of your body heat. When you live in Florida, and we don't have air conditioning and stuff like that like we do today. But when you lay down, your body heat begins to rise above you. Okay? Well, when you live in Florida, you sure as heck want that stuff to keep rising, don't you? That's why this is so high. Okay? And you're gonna pull your scrim down, okay, for mosquitoes and stuff like that. Guys, you're gonna believe it. This is your dressing garment. And I wanna tell you something, this is wool, and it feels like sandpaper. You ain't gonna be happy. Okay? But that is a gentleman's garment. This stuff is all going. It's not even close to the time era that we're aiming for, 1840 to 1860, to be accurate for a tourist. But anyway, last but not least, you didn't have closets. You know why? You'd be taxed. That closet was a room. And so they brought that, Italy, I think is where that taxation procedure started. But anyway, it was brought and we had it here. So if you've got a closet, you're paying a tax on it. That's why people had armoires instead. You were not taxed on that. Right? And that armoire over there is the only piece that we have bought for upstairs to fit that 1840 to 1860 timeline. We're just starting up here. Downstairs, everything that you saw hit that. But isn't that gorgeous? And guess,
Or is that a replica?
huh?
Is that a replica?
Replica? That's an antique.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, yeah. It came from an archive. We have that up in Tallahassee. When they get pieces like this, people don't want to sell them. They want them to go somewhere special. So a lot of times people just give them to like the archives. And look at this. This bed's been sold too, and it's going to be moved to New Hampshire. And it's a winter bed, isn't it? Look at that canopy. You want to keep the body heat close, keep you warm. So big difference, isn't it? And here's the extra blanket and all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's go down the stairs, and I can say goodbye.
I love you back.
Oh,
Because you know how you never see everything the first time.
come back. I have people who come back.
I'll bet.
Uh-huh, I love it. Because it makes me feel good.
Those of you were bedrooms, correct?
Those are just bedrooms. Right now they're full of so much junk.
I just four. Four bedrooms?
Up here, there's actually, yeah, because this is just a trunk room. You have 1, 2.
After you, I'll follow you down. I'll follow you down.
Why? I'm supposed to follow you.
Okay. We don't want to mess up your
They're gonna get over, they're gonna yell at me.
your mandate. Yeah.
It was just, I wanted to be up and running and be perfect.
Yeah. There's still one out there on that stone though. They haven't taken away yet. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. My pleasure. Try to get a outside view now that we've gotten the inside view. That was a good tour. That was almost an hour and a half. That lady really took her time and explained a lot of stuff. Great detail. So even though the kitchen and the work area are right next to the main house, they are separated by the breezeway, which is always typical. They always kept the kitchen area separate for fire reasons, in case fire got crazy and out of control. This would have been just enormous for that time frame for people to live in. Columns are all original. It was just a phenomenal structure. It's completely unique for its time. In this area, completely unique. I guess that's why it's still standing. Made out of native tabby, essentially concrete. So that's part 3, and we're gonna wrap it up.